to the condition of the trails at Watchung Reservation, and we've been working on that over the last several months, and it's going to take a while to really clean everything up the way that we'd like to see it, but we found one project that would get us started in the right direction, and that's the development of a Trails app for a smartphone. Some of you have seen it in its earlier edification at the Parks meeting at the end of the summer. In front of you, you have a new version of the Parks map. The Bureau of GIS has done a really great job of pulling everything together. They've added the amenities that are available within the reservation. There are also maps within the app of the other parks within the county, but for these purposes, what we wanted to demo for you is the Trails app and what it can do in addition to wayfinding and a lot of other neat things that it does. It also allows the public to report any kind of a hazard that they might encounter while they're using the trails. As you know, we have something in the neighborhood of 47 miles of trails. While we have folks dedicated exclusively to monitoring the trails, there's going to be things that we miss just because of the sheer size of our trails network. So I'm going to call upon Matt Mathan and Danny Lozano to give you a very brief, I promise, demo of the new app so you can see what it's capable of, and we'll be rolling it out really soon with a press release and have it on the main page of the website. Matt?
Good evening. My name is Matt, and Danny Lozano is in the back. And let me thank you for your support throughout the years for this program, and it has been great. And also, I would like to thank Joe Graciano and Tom Mineo for their support as well. This is an app we developed. Right now, it is only for Watchung Reservation. So we started with a map from Adobe, and we literally digitized every minute details of this app. And it is online, it is digital, and the data is sitting in the county server, but we push this to the cloud so citizens can access through a app on their phone or using their desktop, and that's how it works. And also, in front of you, I have a map, a copy of the map, I put it there. So there is a QR code on this page. Basically, using your phone, citizen can scan that code and get to this website also. So when you start this app on your phone, the system will know your location. And so if you are in the middle of the trail, you're going to show you your location and your surroundings. And you'll be able to see what is near you, what is the trail you are in, and then that anything with all minute details with every trail is there, and you'll be able to get more information about anything you want within that trail system. So not only that, all the facilities such as bathrooms and the soccer fields and all those details also digitized and is already there. And with this app, we have multiple options to bring imagery. And there are few years you can go back and bring the imagery, and you'll be able to see a decent imagery with a good resolution. You'll be able to zoom in, and you'll be able to go back, and you'll be able to see the very clear imagery also of the trail. Then on the right, you have a layer list and a legend. And this is where you're going to see, that's the layer list there. And then I have a legend on the right. This is where you're going to see every trail is color-coded, and also every trail you're going to see by the difficulty, by the name. So if somebody is not familiar with the trail, they'll be able to look at it and click on it and understand the trail and the length, and pretty much all the details are already there. And then there is a measuring tool. You could just click in 2 clicks. You'll be able to get distances and square footage and a whole bunch of tools there. I'm not going to show you all those things, except that there's a distance tool there. You could measure from point A to point B. It's going to show you how many miles, what's the distance between those 2 points. And then there's a bookmark tool. Here, somebody going there and trying to play with it and spend a few minutes, and they want to come back to that place later on, they could bookmark it. This way, next time when they come access the app, you could click the bookmark right back, and they could start where they left off. Then there is another tool there to share. This is for the Facebook and the Twitter. They'll be able to send a link to their friends or whoever they want to share the link with, a simple link forward, and they'll be able to access the link using that also. And then there's a swipe tool. You'll be able to see before and after shot. And you could see the amount of work we did. On the right, you see the imagery without anything we did. And on the left is those layers, and these are the amount of work we did to bring this to a digital version of the trail maps. Then there is another one called a Near Me. And if you are lost or you want to know what is nearby, you'll be able to click that tool and you'll be able to search for nearest building and nearest bathroom. And there are a few tools also built in there so you can search what is nearby. And another one is elevation profile. Let's say you want to walk this trail and you want to know how difficult this trail is. And if you move around that, look at that trail, it's going to show you the elevation of that trail every point. Every trail has that elevation profile. They'll be able to figure out how difficult it is to walk on the trail. Then the last one I want to show you is, let's say somebody walking around the trail and they see a tree or something they want to report back to the county. And we built in a system, a complaint system, only for the Watchung Reservation. So what you see there are limited options there to select one out of those 5 or 6 options. And these complaints are concerning trails only. So they pick one, and if they register their name and their email address, they'll be able to take a picture, push that to the county, and we're going to get that complaint. And when we deal with that complaint and when we finish it, citizen will automatically get a reply email saying that it has been taken care of. And that's pretty much the app. And can I ask answer any of your questions and concerns?
Vice Chairman.
I just have a comment. I think this is definitely a great program that's going to take place, but also, too, when it comes to public safety, I know we've had times where people get lost within the Watchung Reservation, and this is definitely going to be a great application where they can find out where they're at and, be able to locate a public building close by. Just one suggestion also, maybe including the telephone numbers of the Parks Department and the Police Department in case something like that was to arrive, where in the links, attachment of the telephone number for the Police Department, attachment for the Parks Department also.
Yes.
Telephone number.
Yes.
Thank you. I think it's an amazing app. Great
Yes,
job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else? Freeholder Estrada.
Just a comment. I don't know, now these, if I'm looking at the larger picture here, we're close to things like Mountainside and a few other municipalities. Are the reception in terms of cell towers that good in that area? I mean, is there communication gaps in this general area that you have depicted here? Is that something that can be looked at, or to make sure that I know that's not your side, but because there's no sense of going out to publish something that in essence may have some communications pitfalls.
I can jump in on that as somebody who lives about a mile from here and has walked the trails. Yeah, there is one area in Westfield that is what they call a dead zone, but within the reservation, I would say generally there's good reception.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? I'll just add my comments. How great it is. It's wonderful to have technology, but to then be able to apply it right here for our citizens is wonderful. Thank you for all your hard work on this.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you.
Great job. Okay, and I'm sure we'll have publicity when that's finally rolled out, so members of the public can sign up for that. I know I'm anxiously awaiting. Okay, this is an agenda meeting, so next week, October 26th, at our regular meeting, we will approve our communication. Now we're going to run through the proposed resolutions, starting with Sheriff's Department, Sheriff Klein.
One broken bone's enough, Director says. We got the market on here.
Good evening, Freeholders, and thank you for your consideration. We have one item on your agenda, which is an item to extend the MAX program that we've utilized not only in the Sheriff's Office but throughout the county. I think while I don't have analytical data, because I'm not permitted to see the health data, I can tell you empirically and certainly anecdotally this program has been a success in many ways, and there's over 200 employees using this today, and I would strongly urge that you would consider considering this resolution.
Thank you. Freeholders, any questions? Vice Chairman.
Just a comment. I've seen testament to what you're saying, Sheriff, in reference to employees losing weight, feeling healthier, and being more productive at work. So I definitely think this is a great program that's benefiting all the employees of Union County who participated in it. So keep up the amazing work with it.
Freeholder, thank you for your comment. Through the chair, I know literally dozens of folks that have told me about less prescriptions, things like that. It's been a success.
Anyone else? Yeah, Freeholder Carter.
I agree with Vice Chairman in the comments that he made. Definitely individuals around the county and employees truly have been taking advantage of it, which is great. This is calling from, and just want to make sure that we're clarifying, July 1, 2017, and we're in October. So
Catching up a little bit.
Right. So, and I know that we have approved stuff previously. So awarding the contract, did this go out for bid, or is it just something, we want to make sure that we're just open and fair about it. That's
No,
all.
we're open and fair and continuing a resolution, actually 2016-325, that was passed a year ago, and we've cleared this all through county council with the appropriate measures. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Freeholder.
Anyone else? I will just add my thanks to you for initiating this program. It's worked very well from what I hear, so thank you very much, Sheriff.
Are you sharing with people your 5K time over in this? Thank you, Freeholder.
Next, we have Department of Engineering, Director Graziano.
Good evening, Chairman, Freeholders. I have 5 on the agenda, and I might have to add another one to replace the chair that Ron just broke. So I'm not sure. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
I didn't break
Just as long as there's no injury, we're good.
No injuries.
Freeholder Estrada.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. See, I call him Mr. Chair. So. No pun intended. I got a couple of questions.
Sure.
I'll start with number 2.
Okay.
Now, it's a contract with SBP, which is a big generator group. Now, it says here that you're asking for $123,600 for a 24-month period.
That's correct. Yeah, this is to maintain and do all of our generator testing. We have 20 generators, emergency generators throughout the county.
Oh, it's maintenance.
What? This is just
Only the
maintenance. That's all it is, yes.
Okay. Then forget the question on that.
Okay.
That's fine. I know we have a lot of generators. Now, number 3, this is the salt. I wasn't aware that Morton was in the, Morton is the little lady with the
umbrella.
It's the umbrella.
That's
Anyway,
correct.
But let me ask you a question. How much did you spend last year?
Our last bid was $699,000 on salt. This year is $488,000. So the last bidder was Atlantic Salt. They were $69 a ton. And this year it's Morton Salt. They're $48.80 a ton.
Okay. Now, I was going to say, because you should have a lot of salt.
We have a lot, yep.
last year.
Yes, sir. We do. All of our domes are full right now.
So this is not to exceed?
Not to exceed, that's correct.
It wasn't here, so I'm just...
No, that's fine.
I just want to make sure that people understand that we don't expect too much snow to fall this year.
I hope
We
not.
have some holding from last year, so...
From your mouth to God's ears. Hope it never snows again.
That concludes my questioning, sir. Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, Freeholder Mirabella.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Regarding number 4, I know that Berkeley Heights is a town rich in history and tradition. Does this have anything to do with Ben Franklin?
No, it does not.
Nothing at all?
No, not this, no.
All right. Thank you very much.
Anyone? Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Chairman.
Department of Finance, Director B.B. Taylor.
Nothing sacred here.
The look on his face, though, was priceless.
The way he delivered it.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the board. The Department of Finance has 6 resolutions for your consideration this evening, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Director. Freeholders, any questions? Yes, Freeholder Carter.
Thank you, Chairman. Can you just go into number 1 just a little bit overall? Somebody that reads that may not fully understand it.
Absolutely. Through you, Chairman. The resolution before you essentially allows the county to refund an aggregate principal amount of $44,250,000 to achieve a savings of $2,009,803. Final pricing for the refunding bonds will be done at point of sale. We anticipate achieving savings of total of 4.63%. State statute requires that we have a minimum of 3% savings, so we're well above the minimum.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Just to confirm, so this is like refinancing these bonds
Absolutely.
at a lower interest rate?
At a lower interest rate, keeping the same amortization schedule. And so we're just basically taking advantage of market conditions to realize savings for the county.
Very good. Thank you, Director. Any other questions on the other resolutions? Seeing none? We'll move on to Department of Human Services, Acting Director Dinsmore.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. The Department of Human Services has 2 resolutions on for your consideration. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Thank you. Department of Parks and Recreation, Director Zuber.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Department of Parks and Recreation has 2 items on tonight's agenda, and I'll try to answer any questions you have.
Freeholders, any questions? Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
Department of Public Safety, Director Moran.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. Department of Public Safety has 3 resolutions on. I'll try and answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Yes, Freeholder Estrada.
Thank you very much. Director Moran, just a clarification on the 2.1 million of the UIC. Is this fiscal year 2017? Isn't that over next month?
It is. These awards are always a year behind.
So have we spent that money or no?
No.
No. What was the allocation for this year? What kind of items are included in that allocation?
As the board is well aware, many of these items are regional in basis,
Right.
for the entire Uwasi area. Some of the most notable one is unified approach to active shooter incidents, which trains our first responders to act as across disciplines, but as a team, because the studying previous active shooter incidents, we realized a lot of the fatalities bleed out before EMS can arrive. So we're actually moving up EMS and the fire department into zones that could be considered warm. We also use it for Neptune training, and a large portion of it goes to our Metro Strike Force urban search and rescue training for our firefighters, and backfill for departments that send people to that.
Now, so the issue of the fiscal year 2017 has no bearing in terms of our ability to lose this money because we haven't completed the task, and if we're just receiving it now.
No, sir.
Release for next year, so there's no restriction for that.
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
County Council.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Office of the County Council has 1 item on tonight's agenda, and I'd be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Any questions on this resolution? Thank you, County Council. We have now freeholder-sponsored resolutions. Are there any additional resolutions or friendly amendments? Yes, Freeholder Estrada.
I would like, if at all possible, to join UDAC on the Overlook Medical Center, celebrating the 10th anniversary.
That's number 3.
Yeah, number 3. And also number 9, I would like to join Freeholder Burnell Wright in reference to Kim Nesbitt being honored in the 5th anniversary celebration of Fatherhood Initiative.
Thank you. Anyone else? Oh, I'm sorry.
And can I also recommend possibly if number 7 could come from the board? It's something that Freeholder Wright has in terms of Alzheimer's diseases awareness. I think that impacts everybody.
I think that's a
I'll join.
good
Bernal if she
suggestion.
allows me to, but I think that probably should be from everyone here.
Thank you. Freeholder Carter?
Thank you. I was going to ask to be added to number 7, but taking it to the whole board makes a lot of sense. I'd also like to be added, if it's okay, to number 8 with Freeholder Right, and number 9.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yeah. Go ahead, Freeholder John. Freeholder Right? Okay. Did you hear that, Clerk? Okay. Vice Chair?
Thank you, Chairman. Number 3 also. Also, a laudatory in reference to the Open Space Trust Fund to preserve grants that we awarded, and also from Freeholder Estrada, myself, in reference to the Hispanic Law Enforcement Association of Union County, who's having awardees also.
Very good, thank you. Anyone else? And, Mr. Clerk, I'm going to ask to please be added to number 4 and number 6. At this time, we have the need to go into executive session, so I'm going to ask the County Council to please read the statement relative to same.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, public body may enter into executive session for the purpose of discussing certain enumerated subjects. This board now wishes to enter into executive session for the purpose of discussing attorney-client privilege communication and discussion relative to potential contract negotiations with the Roarway Valley Sewerage Authority. The minutes of the executive session shall be separated from the minutes of the open public session. The minutes of the executive session, redacted as appropriate and necessary, shall be available in approximately 30 days. Clerk to the board shall retain the original minutes until such time as the confidential limitations have been removed, at which time they shall be made available. Upon the affirmative vote of a majority of the members present, the board may enter into executive session. Upon the board's return, given this is an agenda meeting, will not take any formal action on the matter discussed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
Second.
Moved by Vice Chairman Granado, seconded by Freeholder Carter. Clerk of the board, please call the roll.
Freeholder Carter?
Yes.
Freeholder Estrada?
Yes.
Freeholder Jallo?
Aye.
Freeholder Mirabella?
Aye.
Freeholder Wright?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Granados?
Aye.
And Chairman Bergen?
Yes.
Chairman, you have 7 votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. We're now in executive session. May I please have a motion to return from executive session?
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Mirabella, seconded by Freeholder Carter. Clerk of the board, please call the roll.
Freeholder Carter?
Yes.
Freeholder Estrada? Freeholder Jallo?
Here.
Freeholder Mirabella?
Yes.
Freeholder Wright?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Granados?
Aye.
Chairman Bergen?
Yes.
Chairman, there were 7 votes in the affirmative to return from executive.
Thank you. County Council,
And one
anything to
here.
report at this time?
Nothing to report. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. May I please have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
Roarway Valley Sewerage Authority. The minutes of the executive session shall be separated from the minutes of the open public session. The minutes of the executive session, redacted as appropriate and necessary, shall be available in approximately 30 days. Clerk to the board shall retain the original minutes until such time as the confidential limitations have been removed, at which time they shall be made available. Upon the affirmative vote of a majority of the members present, the board may enter into executive session. Upon the board's return, given this is an agenda meeting, will not take any formal action on the matter discussed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
Second.
Moved by Vice Chairman Granado, seconded by Freeholder Carter. Clerk of the board, please call the roll.
Freeholder Carter?
Yes.
Freeholder Estrada?
Yes.
Freeholder Jallo?
Aye.
Freeholder Mirabella?
Aye.
Freeholder Wright?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Granados?
Aye.
And Chairman Bergen?
Yes.
Chairman, you have 7 votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. We're now in executive session. May I please have a motion to return from executive session?
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Mirabella, seconded by Freeholder Carter. Clerk of the board, please call the roll.
Freeholder Carter?
Yes.
Freeholder Estrada? Freeholder Jallo?
Here.
Freeholder Mirabella?
Yes.
Freeholder Wright?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Granados?
Aye.
Chairman Bergen?
Yes.
Chairman, there were 7 votes in the affirmative to return from executive.
Thank you. County Council,
And one
anything to
here.
report at this time?
Nothing to report. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. May I please have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.